episode 2, season 40, we're getting a look at the subtleties now. I love the game in which we get to look at who the players are. And I'll probably go a little bit backwards because as I watch the show, what's on my mind right off the bat is the last thing I saw. And the last thing I just saw before this commercial was Kim and Sophie. And I think they are both excellent players of the game. Really, really good players. And that makes it fascinating and fun for me, like crazy. So Kim is going to Sophie and sharing the idea that she's got this idol with two parts, that she's got to give one part to the other. And Sophie's reflecting to viewers that she's one of the last people that Kim should be giving the idol to, which tells you Sophie's there to play. But you never know. Kim, having given the idol to Sophie, may let those two move forward in a way that neither of them had originally planned. And I love the way Kim plays intelligently. She lets herself kind of move along and decide what feels right. But I'll tell you one thing that struck me were a couple of the comments she made. Kim talked about if it's meant to be, as she was looking for the idol. That kind of thing sends me over the edge because I don't believe in any of that kind of fate, meant to be stuff. And then she said, "Thank you, Lord," when she got it. So I'm wondering if Kim's religious. That's just an interesting aside to me. I'm not religious, and I think religion is one of those things that is taking humanity in the wrong direction, as it's been doing for eons. And I know, you're welcome to your opinion. That's not everybody's view, but I didn't know that about Kim. I hadn't even entertained the idea that she might believe in a deity. And when she said, "Thank you, Lord," it could have just been an expression. But that's what struck me when I'm watching the episode. So I'm telling you, because that's what I'm here to do. Cops are us! I got so many thoughts going through my head about Cops Are Us. Tony and Sarah go have this conversation, as you saw, and does she buy it? It sounds, when she's talking to viewers, as if she's buying Tony's Cops Are Us pitch that he used on her in an earlier game to vote her out. And she says, "But now I know him." Is Sarah daft? Or does she know something we don't know? We can't tell. But boy, oh boy, would I be skeptical. Sarah just said as long as other people don't know there are Cops Are Us, that Cops Are Us can work. That seems to be, to me, that seems to be missing the whole point of what Tony might be doing. But freneticism is us when it comes to Tony. That ladder, oh my gosh, just having to do something so that he doesn't run around like a chicken with his head cut off. All these things show you a little bit about who Tony is. And all the other players kind of going along to laugh at him and to watch and to recognize what a loose cannon he could be doesn't bode well for Tony's game. These folks on Edge of Extinction, are they really playing? You know, they're doing what they can to stay in. It is fascinating how these fire tokens are going to play out, because would you buy that special privilege like Jeremy just bought, that opportunity to leave tribal council, or not? It's a tough call. I think he said, "Oh, it's easy. Of course I'm going to buy it." But I'm thinking, what if there's a reason for those people in the game to hang on to their fire tokens that we don't know yet? This is tough when it's the first season to have fire tokens as a twist. I don't know. I mean, I think he had to do it, and so he did, and he bought it. And that means Natalie now has 2 fire tokens over there on the Edge of Extinction. Who's going to get back in the game? Is she ever going to get a chance to use them? We'll see. Ooh, listen to Parvati's logic. Oh, one of them's gots to go. One of those new school. Smart. She's worried about there being a new school faction. But jeepers, can you really leave Rob in the game? Unless you're really close and connected to him and you really think he understands, like you, that you and he together are valuable for some period of time. Ooh, that's a tough one for me. The challenge, that was, fun to watch, especially Sandra's glee. She's just so expressive. I just love seeing it. So she was thrilled, just grabbing that. Oh, we won immunity. But Rob, he knew it was bad, and he knew it was his bad. So what does that mean for him in the tribal council? I don't know. That's coming up. We're just in commercial now, and I'm trying to share some of my thoughts live. For me, it's interesting watching the show because there's this angst and kind of, well, let's just say sadness that I'm not there. I should be a part of this. And I'm having a little bit of trouble every now and then as I'm watching, thinking about what I might do a little differently and with whom I might do it. And the ways in which I think I would surprise both other contestants and viewers. But that's life. I'm not there. So I'm with you, viewers, and here I am sharing as best I can what it is I'm thinking when I'm watching it. It's an interesting game. The Edge of Extinction combined with Fire Tokens, the all winners. There's a lot to kind of digest, and not all of it will happen instantaneously as I'm watching. Afterwards, I'll think back and, like I would if I were on the island, plan as best I can with as limited information as I can glean from the edit. I can tell probably a little bit better than others who haven't played the game how the edit is influencing my perception of different players. How often have you seen Ethan so far in this episode? How much have you seen Yule? Almost none of either of them. Why? Is there more to come from both of them? Or not? Are neither of them going to unfold in ways that give them opportunities to win? I don't know. They're both good players. Did you see the excitement when they talked about the reward being spices? Ooh, Jeff says, and spices are really valuable when you don't have food. Not if your brain is working. It's a nice little addition. Oh, yay, it tastes like cinnamon. Look, rice tastes like heaven when you're starving. Adding spices to it at the expense of doing something else or being focused on something else, even losing that challenge so that you can get rid of somebody that's problematic on your team, there are all kinds of other strategic decisions that would be prioritized by me over spices. I love Ben Danson. That's cute as hell. Why do I think he's so sexy? I don't know. It's the tattoos. It's the fucking abs. Oh, Jesus. But do you hear Rob saying shit like, I feel secure? What? I feel secure in the relationships I built. You kidding me, Rob? Oh, this is fun for me. Oh, man. Adam trying to figure out, should he go for it? Should he really take these other folks who are willing to go along? Jeremy too. Take Parvati out? I don't know. One of the things that's bothering me is that all of this conversation about what a good player Parvati is, no doubt she is, nobody's talking about seriously getting rid of Rob now. It's odd to me. He walks around kind of like the Godfather, just kind of hanging out, playing his little games in the tree, being kind of smooth, saying what he needs to Danny, kind of pretending he's going to go along with her. And occasionally people will say, Rob and Parvati are in charge. Jeremy was just pointing out that Rob and Parvati are running the show. Well, why is Rob not more a target, more a possibility to go this early in the game? And that's an interesting thing. I think people are using his leadership to avoid attention on them. Michelle, I think, talked about this is an easy appease vote, where you just kind of appease whoever it is and go with what they want. But Danny, poor Danny, I don't think Danny's playing in a really effective way. I feel as if her kind of not figuring out more accurately what's up with Parvati and why there might be this perceived distance before deciding to go to Rob or whomever else, never mind in front of Ben, talking about there being an old school alliance. I mean, it really puts a target on Danny's back. She's not reliable from the sense of being able to keep whatever it is that those old schoolers supposedly had talked about to themselves. She really let that cat out of the bag. So here we go into tribal council, and it'll be interesting to see what of this is editing and what isn't. Like, could they really not be talking at all about taking Rob out? I don't know. And my boy Ben saying he doesn't want to be bamboozled. Yeah, we'll pull that hatch line right out of our backpacks. Love it, Ben. Don't let yourself be bamboozled. Good on you. I still wanted to talk about how fucking sexy he is. And the tribal council gets hairy and complicated. What a shock. I love Ben bringing up stuff that's just true and sending Rob and Poverty and Ethan even into kind of like defensive mode. And their word salad made sense. But things were a little shook up. I wonder if they turned on Ben. We'll see. It would have been silly to change their plan again. But there's so many of the other folks that could just direct it right back at the power players. They stuck with it. They stuck with their plan and got rid of Danny. I can't say it was a bad move because Danny was, a little unreliable. Look at that. Fire token from Danny to Denise. Look, Danny's downfall is clearly the way in which she was, what they were talking about at Tribal Council, but paranoid. She had many opportunities to learn a little more accurately what might be the real dynamics between her and Poverty, between her and Rob, between her and Ethan. And instead, I think she let her worries and paranoia fester and kind of jump the shark a little. So instead of letting that group kind of pan out and see where the conversations went, and it looked as if they were going to go somewhere to those other players, she really kind of threw a grenade into the plans that those people had. And that was her downfall. Even with Ben and all the conversations at Tribal Council and all the whispering as if they might change their tune, it looks like they stuck with what they'd planned when they went in, and bye-bye Danny. Night-night. Off to edge of extinction. Boston Rob survives another vote. And again, it just didn't seem as if people were paying real attention to the possibility of getting rid of him. Good for him. He's sprinkled that Boston Rob dust on people and kind of puts them to sleep a bit. Something. I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing it. Ben's still there. Oof. Damn, that man is handsome. He's just so cute. He sits there at Tribal Council, and I loved his sincerity. That's one thing he's got going for him. I know other players think, wow, what's he going to say next? Wow, that's a loose cannon. But it's not, it doesn't appear to me as if Ben is a dangerous loose cannon. But maybe because it's just, I want him to stay.